Hi, my name's John Chandler. I'm the president of the Springfield Symphony Orchestra. And what that means is I'm a member of the board. I have been for about 10 years. And I serve a 2-year period as president of the SSO, which means I oversee and help lead the board, fundraising, financial work, working with the staff, and interacting with Kevin, although I try not to get in his way on the artistic stuff because he's the maestro and I'm the marketing guy from MassMutual, where I've worked for about the last 7 years. So what does a board member do? Really, our primary responsibility is helping to ensure the financial health of the orchestra. So whether it's the annual fund or it's sponsorships or it's helping to generate market development, get more tickets sold, it's supporting our youth programs, it's being a donor and encouraging others to donate. All of those things are a part of being a supporter of the SSO and being an active board member. And I've come to really enjoy the work, although it's work. I'm not a huge classical music fan, but I have become one because of my involvement over the last 10 years on the board. And quite honestly, when I was recruited to join the board, I was asked, "You look like someone who would listen to classical music, do you?" by a former president of the SSO. I said, well, in my CD changer in my car, remember CD changers in our cars? I have Glenn Gould's Goldberg Variations, the second recording, which I still listen to a lot. But next to it, I have the greatest hits of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And next to that, I have a Grover Washington Jr. jazz mix. So I guess what I would say is I listen to music and I love music. And because I've been involved in the SSO, I've become a bigger and bigger fan and a greater and greater appreciator of classical music. And I guess now that I understand the different periods of classical music, I love the Romantic period. I guess for folks like Beethoven, they just kind of connect with me, maybe because he sounds a little bit like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That could be what it is. So what do I think about supporting the SSO and going to performances? I love it. There are very few things you get to go to today in Springfield where the audience literally stands up and cheers. Although the Falcons did great last year, we did cheer for them too. It's a great opportunity to be around the musicians, to be around people who really appreciate that something this special can happen in Springfield. Symphony Hall is a beautiful hall to listen to classical music. It was purpose built for that, to listen to classical music. We have all these great educational outreach programs that reach out into the community in so many ways and help school children who appreciate music and learn about music. Both of my kids grew up in this area and they had an appreciation for music, in part because of the SSO, although they never really pursued their instruments long enough to become musicians. But they both played for a while and had fun with it. And so as I think about the role of the SSO in our community, I think it plays a vital role. It draws a large audience to listen to classical performances. It extends those performances into our schools, into our youth orchestras, into developing the downtown Springfield economy, supporting restaurants and other businesses. And it really is an opportunity for us to rally and have fun while listening to a musical performance that's rare in many cities around the country, a really outstanding orchestra. So for all those reasons, I think the SSO is something worth supporting both personally, but also as a community. And I hope you'll join me in supporting the SSO and getting involved, not just by supporting it financially or becoming a member of our audience, but maybe even becoming someone who works on the board and gets involved in our volunteer committees. It's a great organization to be a part of, and I ask you to be a supporter of it in any way that you can. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for MassMutual, so 98.7% of my time is spent working. That's just a reality. But what I love to do beyond work is actually work out. I was an athlete in college and in high school, and that carried over into my habits today. So I work out with a personal trainer 4 days a week, and I'm an avid road bike cyclist, and I will ride my bike 12 months of the year if the roads are not too slick. And you haven't lived till you change a flat tire when it's 24 degrees out and you're soaked with sweat. It's a really special experience, but that's one of those things I do. I'm also an avid hiker. When my son graduated, my younger son graduated from high school, his present that he asked from me was a week hiking across the presidential range in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, which was a total blast to do. And you haven't really experienced joy until you've spent time with your son and no cell phone service. That combination is really special. So I guess I'm kind of an active guy, and when someone one time asked me, "When are you happiest?" I said, I think it's when I'm a little bit out of breath. And whether that's where I'm being stretched by work or by my volunteerism with the SSO, or it's just exercising, that seems to be where I seem to be happiest, for whatever reason.